Hey, sweet seeker. This should have been a recording of my live cacao ceremony that I did earlier today with all of the beautiful faces that showed up to the live call. But due to some internet connection issues, I wasn't able to download the recording and share it with you today. So here we are, re recording and doing this one on one, off the cuff, obviously. It always is. And cacao is already in my veins, flowing through my system. So I don't have my physical cup with me, so it's okay if you don't either. But there will be a guided meditation section, as per usual, a few prompts, and whatever goodness flows through. This will be a little bit shorter than your typical cacao ceremony, so if you'd like to hit pause and press play on a different song to guide yourself into a space of sacredness, or maybe after the cacao ceremony has finished, you can just open up your journal, have a bit of a dance, go do something that makes you feel like you're in your joy to follow up on this if you've carved out half an hour. So I'm so grateful for your support always, your ongoing ability to show up to these ceremonies, whether it's just in the recording over on YouTube or if it's live over on Zoom whenever I hold them on the full moon, is deeply appreciated. You have no idea how much of a thrill and an honor and a pleasure it is to see who gets involved, who shares it over on Instagram, who brings along a friend that might not have ever heard of cacao before, and just for the sake of getting into your body and dropping from head to heart. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So quick announcement before we dive in. My online program Becoming is open for a round 2 enrollments. It was such a smashing success our last round. Woof, there was some changes that occurred, some transformations, some deep truths told and acted upon. And so if you're really ready to take your life to the next level, and what I mean by that is like, no bullshit, quit lying to yourself, quit with having your own hand around your own neck kind of self-help. That's really what Becoming is all about. It's stripping away the facade that spirituality or having your shit together is meant to look perfect, and instead embracing the messiness and the mundane and the magic throughout all of those things. So if you're interested in that, enrollments are open. Head to my website, spiritedseeker.com/becoming. This is your chance to work with me in a group environment. It's intimate, it's immersive, it's online. You can join wherever you are in the world, and it's accessible. That's kind of my biggest intention with these group programs, is making it accessible to people that might not know how to work with me one-on-one right off the get-go. So if you're curious, head to that page, spiritedseeker.com/becoming, to learn more about what the program is and what it offers. I won't tell you any more than that. If your soul goes, yes, head on over there after this ceremony and you can check it out. I trust always that whoever shows up to that vortex is who is meant to be there. So yeah, I'm super stoked to share that space with you if you end up joining in. All right. If this is your first cacao ceremony, you might be thinking, what the heck is cacao? What's the big deal on chocolate? Why is this chick obsessed with this ingredient? And one of the reasons is that it is a medicine. When we consider it with the reverence that so many other traditions and cultures have before us, we receive not only the nutritional benefits, the mineral benefits, the physiological benefits, but also the spiritual or the psychosomatic or the metaphysical benefits, which is that it's considered a heart opener. And the reason for this is not just in the ingredients, but in the relationship to the essence, the spirit of cacao herself. So when we think about, whether it's a piece of clothing or a style of music or a brand or a business, each of these things has certain qualities, a certain personality. So whenever I talk about the essence or the spirit of cacao, that's really what I'm directing to here. Cacao has a distinct persona, a personality attached to her. And to me, it's the feminine, but it could be different for you. So whatever comes up through the ceremony, trust that that is what is right for you. And you don't need to take on any of my language, anything that doesn't resonate, just drop that at the door and go with your own heart, because that's really the intention here, is to shift our attention from being up here in between the temples down to the heart space. Because if we're honest, this place is not where we reside most of the time. We're so up in the chaos of the mind, and it can be really challenging to trust ourselves enough to surrender into the wisdom of the heart. So that is what we're going to be doing together here. So whenever you feel ready, just closing down your eyes, blocking out all of that extra sensory information. If you have not yet turned your phone on airplane mode, do that now, making sure the door is closed, you have privacy, you have sacred space. And to recognize that sacred space looks different for everybody. It doesn't have to be smudging and incense and chanting music. You can be on the bus right now listening to this. You don't have to be drinking cacao. You can simply tune into the spirit of cacao rather than actually consuming the ingredient. There is no rules or dogma as to how this needs to look for you. Consciously bringing awareness now to your breath, to the sensations in your body, and casting your ears all around, picking up on all of the sounds near and far. Like your hearing has been activated as a radar to pick up everything that is going on in the here and now. What's the furthest sound that you can pay attention to? And once you've identified that, bring your awareness closer now to the sounds within the room. What sound is the closest to you? Becoming aware now of the sound of your own breath. Inhaling in through the nose, taking a big drink on the life force available to you. Letting your belly expand, and then exhaling, either sighing out the mouth or out the nose. Noticing what's here for you now. You might be experiencing some tension or stress. Perhaps there's some parts of the body that are niggling at you, asking for your attention. I encourage you to do your best to continually usher your awareness, your attention, back to here, to now. Because if you are not here and now, where are you? The mind will want to wander every few seconds, which is perfectly normal and natural, even for those of us who practice yoga daily, who meditate, who chant, who do all of the things on the spiritual self-help laundry list. The mind is still the most dominant force. If it's not, we're kind of kidding ourselves. So be gentle, be loving, but be fierce in your ability to harness your attention. Go above and beyond the mind. And call all parts of you home now to your heart center. If you're holding a mug of cacao, you've got a cup of tea, I invite you, whenever you feel the call to take a sip. Once again, emphasizing that there is no need for it to be so serious, so ritualistic. If you don't have either of those things, you can place your left hand over your heart center. And as the body softens and relaxes, can you trust that there is nowhere else you need to be and nothing else you need to be doing for the next few moments? That no matter what the day you've had, the day that is yet to come, you can drop all of those timelines out of your consciousness now And breathe into this time, this moment. And what if this was the most productive thing you could ever do? When we surrender from doing, we expand our receivership. So we actually create space for what we are wanting to create to manifest. If you're here doing this, you are so a part of a new paradigm, breaking the hustle, the grind, the working so hard for your worth. And so I want you to do anything that you need to do right now to really let yourself be here. Whether that's perhaps flicking and shaking the hands, grooving through the hips, maybe shuffling your jaw from side to side, perhaps some massage down your arms or on your toes and feet. Maybe it's tapping different meridian points or rolling through the head, dropping the weight from side to side, releasing areas that feel stuck, stagnant, sleepy. And then gradually melting your awareness from the mind downwards to close the gap between head and heart. As you inhale deeply, imagine the expanse of the heart is getting bigger, wider, boundless. And as you exhale, any tension from the body, any resistance to this presence just falls away. Inhaling to take up space. The heart makes itself known, comes forward, gets bigger, lights up. All of the cells that have been dormant in your system coming alive. And in your exhale, you let it all go. Just continuing with a mindful breath practice without force, without urgency, without struggle. No right or wrong. Keep your own pace. Trust your body. This full moon in Leo, to me, is symbolic of the lioness. And while you can go anywhere you want to read the astrological downloads and insights, purely speaking from my own intuition, this moon is all about bringing to light the places where we have not been courageous enough with our heart's truth. The full moon is always a time of illuminating what we've been keeping in the shadows, and this theme of truth is relentless through me. So with your eyes closed and your gaze turned inward, attuning to the subtleties of your body speaking to you. What is the truth that your courageous heart would tell? If it could speak, what might it say? If you weren't afraid or pretending to be confused about the truth, if you were to take ownership of the lioness in you, if you were to let this blend of energies, the warmth, the honey, the nectar of cacao, and the fire, the fierceness, the courage of the lioness, be married into your being right now, how would that feel? What might be activated in you? Perhaps you would sit a little taller, crown of the head lifted. Maybe your chest would be proud, heart expanded out front. Perhaps you would flash those pearly fangs of yours into a smile. We forget that we can use our physiological body to evoke and cultivate the feelings we most want to feel. And so with the assistance of invoking the essence of cacao here, to warm us, to nourish us, to make us know that it is okay, that we explore the sense of courage that has been waiting for us to awaken it. The fighter, the fire, the lioness in you is now ready to be untamed, unleashed, to be truly seen and heard. And so drinking the essence or the very ingredient of cacao into your system, spicing up your cells. Can you let yourself tell the truth? Can you open your chest a little wider and let the heart speak? Courage is not always easy, so be sure to be gentle and soft on yourself with whatever it is that you hear. But making space for the sharp edges that truth sometimes brings. Calling yourself out where you have not been courageous. If you were to be the lioness, would you be swallowing your tongue? Would you be withholding your needs? Would you be keeping yourself starving? If you were the lioness, what would you be stalking? What would your prey be that you are hunting? I invite you now to take a few rounds of lion's breath. Remember, if you are in your sacred space, nobody else can hear you. There's no one to judge you. There's no one to make you feel awkward other than yourself. So notice the resistance that comes up with this. Keeping your eyes closed, drawing a big, deep breath inward. Calling on the warmth of cacao and the courage of the lioness. On your exhalation, sticking your tongue out and making an audible sigh. Continue with this practice for a few rounds until you really feel the warmth, the fire that you're cultivating inside. Not the fire to destroy worlds, not the fire of anger, but the fire of courage. And once again, if you were the lioness, if you were able to listen to your courageous heart, what truth might it tell you? Whenever you're ready, slowly coming back to this time, this body, this room, these noises, this temperature. I invite you to open your eyes to the light and tell yourself the truth. May this illumination give you the courage to choose what is in most alignment for you.